So at 6-7, the Philadelphia Eagles finally hit their bye week. And with no one to play, there's not really a game to discuss. The main thing right now I guess we'll talk about is what do the Eagles have to look forward to? Well, at 6-7 right now, they're right in the thick of the playoff hunt for the NFC wildcard. And funny enough, one of the teams in their way is the Washington football team, who they're going to have an opportunity to play twice in the end stretch of their season. So it's reasonable to say if the Eagles can beat Washington in those two games, they'll almost guarantee themselves a playoff spot. But as always with the Philadelphia Eagles, it's never as easy as it seems. And the Eagles right now seem to be in the middle of a quarterback controversy. And that's between Gardner Minshew, who led the Eagles to a big win over the New York Jets, and Jalen Hurts, who, when we last saw him, had a miserable performance against the New York Giants. Now, Eagles coach Nick Sirianni has already came out and said Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. If he's healthy, he's the quarterback. And even though the offense looked so good under Gardner Minshew, it was against the Jets. But it does bring in a few questions with the Eagles right now, and their plans for the future and how they're going to do everything in the offseason. When you saw Gardner Minshew in there, we saw much more of a traditional offense. The Eagles' running game was still effective. We saw a lot more play action. We saw an offense that looked very similar to what the Indianapolis Colts had done for the past few seasons. But when Jalen Hurts is in at quarterback, we see much more of a college-style offense. A lot more read options, a lot more RPOs, and it's almost the entire offense at times, until recently where we became much more of a run-heavy offense. But the weakness seems to be the passing game right now. And when Gardner Minshew played last week, you saw the first two drives. He hit guys open. When the throw was there, he made the read, and boom, we went right downfield and scored quick. Dallas Goedert had 2 long touchdown plays. We haven't seen that at all from the Eagles this season. And it's not that Dallas Goedert can't make those plays. He can. He just hasn't been given the opportunities. Same for Devontae Smith. You can go out on Twitter, you can go on YouTube, and you'll see people posting plays where Devontae Smith is wide open and Jalen Hurts simply hasn't hit him. And listening to the media this past week, hearing what Gardner Minshew had to say about the game, how their practices were, he didn't have much time to work with this receiving room. And he was still making plays, and he went 20 of 25. I mean, granted, you're against the Jets, but still, that's an NFL defense. That's an NFL defense that should be able to stop people who aren't prepared. And really, the Eagles receivers and Gardner Minshew didn't have a ton of time to prepare, but they still went out and played one of their best offensive games. So it's that where this really starts becoming a quarterback controversy, is Gardner Minshew just came off the streets and balled out. Whereas Jalen Hurts has had preparation, he's had time, he has a training camp, and yet he still hasn't shown much growth. So that's really where the crux of this controversy comes into play. And I'll be honest right now, at this point in time, Gardner Minshew is a better passer of the football than Jalen Hurts. Right now, at this point in time. He is probably a better thrower of the football. He's probably somebody who would probably run the Eagles offense a lot better than Jalen Hurts. But this point of this whole season was to figure out whether Jalen Hurts could be the franchise quarterback of the Eagles. And you can't figure that out by benching him. It's as simple as that. Yes, I do think the Eagles would be better with Gardner Minshew at quarterback right now. However, we have to answer the question of whether Jalen Hurts is going to be the franchise quarterback of the Eagles. And if you bench Hurts during this opportunity, during this time of the season, when you literally have an opportunity to see if he can lead you to the playoffs, you got to be able to answer that question. Right now, we can't. The Eagles have the opportunity to go out and get whatever quarterback they want. Whether that's going to be trading for a veteran quarterback, whether that's going to be signing one in free agency, or even if they choose to draft one in the NFL draft. They have 3 first-round picks. If they like somebody in this draft, they can go get him. If there's a veteran quarterback that they want to go get, they can go get him. They have more ammo than anybody in the league. So if they want somebody, they can go get him. But you have to figure out whether Jalen Hurts is going to be your quarterback or not. If the answer is no, then you got to go out and do what you have to do in the offseason. If the answer is yes, guess what? Those 3 first-round picks, which at this point in time, that Indy pick's almost guaranteed to be the Eagles' pick, you can go ahead and use it however you want. I've complained about this Eagles defense the entire season. That's where I'm going to use my first-round picks on if I was the one making the picks. I mean, having 3 first-round picks is a very rare occurrence in the NFL. So the Eagles have to strike while they have this basically ammo. They have opportunities to really change this football team in one offseason with that kind of draft capital. And part of that is figuring out whether you believe Jalen Hurts is the franchise quarterback or not. And if you've been listening to anything about the Eagles front office recently, you know there's a schism right now. There's a schism between Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, the owner. Howie Roseman's the general manager. Howie Roseman doesn't believe in Jalen Hurts. Jeffrey Lurie wants to give him more time. Simple as that. Even the Eagles are divided right now. But the only way we can help answer this question is we have to let Jalen Hurts play. Now, I do want to say this real quick. Though I am in favor of letting Jalen Hurts play and play it out and see what happens. If he goes out and has another performance like against the Giants, there's going to be problems. And I've heard multiple people on YouTube talk about it, even news media. This scenario's been brought up, but I'll present it to you again. Let's say the bye week goes by. They're at home. They're playing the Washington football team. Being in the second half comes, and the Eagles are down 17-3. Jalen Hurts has looked horrible. He's thrown 2 interceptions. He's just not, it's not clicking. We're seeing the same performance. He's 9 of 18 for 80 yards, but he has 50 rushing yards. If you're seeing that, then you have to play Gardner Minshew, I think. You would have to bench Hurts at that situation. And the reason being, in that situation, why I think you would have to bench him is because at that point, you're in jeopardy of losing the football team. This Eagles team has stuck together through a lot of bad situations. There was a debacle in Dallas, the debacle with the Raiders. And every time they've had a debacle or a really bad performance or everybody's questioning, the team has rallied and won the next time. They've done what they've needed to do every time. But if you go out there and say Jalen Hurts is the guy and he puts on another clunker like he did against the Giants, but you have Gardner Minshew who just made your offense look incredible a week ago, you're probably going to have a lot of guys start turning their head looking at the coach saying, what the hell are you doing? I mean, you got Jason Kelce, who is been nominated for Walter Payton Man of the Year, so congratulations to him. But you're going to have these older veterans who are like, hey, I want to compete. I want to win. I'm not here to rebuild. I'm here to win. They're going to start looking over their shoulders and say, what the hell are you doing, Nick Sirianni? Because clearly Jalen Hurts can't get the job done. Gardner Minshew's the guy. Put him in. So Nick Sirianni's going to have a tough little situation if that happens. I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, it's going to be a very tricky situation for him to navigate through. Because he's been able to galvanize and keep this team together through everything, through all of the wacky stuff he said. As he said, dog mentality. We're trying to grow flowers. He said some wacky stuff, and this team has bought into it. But if Jalen Hurts isn't performing, you might lose a football team in that situation. That very well could happen. But I hope it doesn't happen, but we'll find out, and the Eagles have a week off. They'll have a week off to evaluate and see what happens and review their tape. Maybe in a week, Nick Sirianni decides to bench Hurts. That very well could happen. We know what he said. But when you have a week to review your film, see everything, watch everything again, maybe he comes out with a different mentality. Maybe Hurts' leash isn't as long as we all think it is. But time will tell on that. And it's going to be very interesting to watch. But with that, let's get into my Week 14 picks in the NFL. So Thursday night, we got Pittsburgh taking on the Vikings. Vikings with an embarrassing loss against the Detroit Lions. They're at home. They're playing the Steelers, but the Steelers have been playing pretty good football, and they survived a tough game last week against the Ravens. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh with the win. Next, we got the Saints taking on the Jets. Look, the Saints were just horrible on Thursday night. They absolutely were. 4 interceptions from Hill. It's inexcusable. If they do that again, the Jets will win this football game. And they played the Eagles tough for a little while in that first half. I would not be surprised if they play the Saints tough too, because the Saints are a beatable football team. I'm a little crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Jets on the win here. Next, got the Falcons taking on the Panthers. This is one of those toss-up games, I feel like. Neither one of these teams are that good, but I think Atlanta's played well enough to probably garner a victory here. I think they have enough talent. They have enough weapons. Cordell Patterson has been a very nice surprise for them this season. So I'll say Atlanta's going to win this game. Next, we got the Seahawks taking on the Texans. Seahawks had a good win over the 49ers last week. Russell Wilson was able to make some plays, and they were able to get the job done. And you're taking on a pathetic Texan team whose neither quarterback looked that good last week. So I'm going to go Seattle in this one. Next, we got the Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs have been on fire recently, and this is typical Andy Reid. I mean, people in Philadelphia, we've seen it. I can't tell you how many times. End of December, Andy Reid teams usually get hot. I think that continues here. I'm going to go Chiefs over the Raiders. Next, we got the Ravens taking on the Browns. And look, the Ravens just keep getting injured. And the Browns just keep on sputtering. You know, I don't feel confident in either one of these teams. Even though the Ravens, you should feel confident. But I really don't feel that confident in them. But I think I'll give them a win just because I think they're playing just a little bit better than the Browns. And next, we've got Dallas taking on Washington in a game that, if Dallas wins, actually helps the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, granted, as an Eagles fan, I hope both teams lose. I know it's not possible, but that's just my opinion on it. But if I had to pick someone to win, I'm going to go Washington with the upset here. Washington has been playing very well recently. They're playing good enough defense, they're moving the ball, and they're scoring just enough points to win. Dallas, yes, they've gotten their weapons back. They seem to be getting a little healthy, but they're not clicking on all cylinders. And if they don't click on all cylinders against Washington, Washington will beat them, and I think that's going to happen. So I'm going to go Washington and a win here. Next, we've got the Jaguars taking on the Titans. I think it's easy. Titans win this game. Titans are going to absolutely win this game. Yeah, they don't have Derrick Henry. Yeah, they've had some issues recently, but you're playing the Jaguars. They should be able to take care of business. Similar game with the Giants and the Chargers. The Giants, they went ahead and lost to Miami the way they did. Their injuries, they're just so inept on offense. I got to go Chargers here. Chargers have too much firepower. Next, we have the Detroit Lions and the Denver Broncos. Congratulations to Detroit on finally getting a win. Good for you guys. Good job. Keep fighting. Congratulations to you. But you're not winning this week against Denver. Denver's one of those teams that they're not going to wow you, but they're going to do enough. If you make mistakes, they'll beat you. I think Detroit will make mistakes. Denver's going to get the win. Next, we got the 49ers taking on the Bengals. Bengals have been a little up and down recently, but you're playing a Niners team who's just meh. You know, sometimes the Niners look great. Sometimes they look like they're on their ass. I think the Bengals will rebound. They're at home. They should be able to get a win here. Next, we have the Bills taking on the Buccaneers. You know, tough break for Buffalo on Monday night. You went ahead into some very rough conditions, and hey, New England once again is dominating the NFL. Well, 2020 was nice when New England wasn't winning, but it is what it is. But now they're going to play Tom Brady and the Buccaneers at home. I'm going to say Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they're starting to get hot at the right time. This is typically what Tom Brady does. I'm going to go the Buccaneers over the Bills. Next, we have one of the oldest rivalries in the NFL with the Bears taking on the Packers. I just think Green Bay is one of the best teams in the NFL, period. The Bears, I don't think they're going to win this game. They might make it close, but I think Packers will steamroll them. I'm going to go Green Bay. And finally, the wrap of the week on Monday night, we got the LA Rams taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I got to say Cardinals right now. You know, they got their weapons back last week against Chicago. They got to get everybody in a bit of a rhythm, and I think that continues this week. I'm going to go Cardinals over the Rams. So with that, those are my Week 14 picks in the NFL. And also, I want to thank you all for listening to the Process YouTube channel. If you like what I got to say, please hit the like button. And if you agree or disagree with anything I got to say, please throw in the comment section below. With that, catch you all later. Peace.